got to move on, y'all. Is that all right? That's okay. You ought to turn my seat. Turn my seat. Turn my seat. Turn my seat. Lord, let me hear y'all scream. Ain't we good? Look, we got to move. But how many know you're going to reap just what you sow? Can I get a witness? Yo, come on. Come on, clap your hands. Oh, I'm trying to tell y'all. You're talking about folks. I'm thinking to tell you. You're gonna read. You're gonna okay. Well, let me tell you. Anybody ever been down in your life? Anybody ever been disappointed in your life? I got to leave. But let me tell y'all. I know that can do all right. Yeah, y'all, come on. We better shot. I'm really good. Come on, y'all.
All right, guys, what's going on? What is going on this morning? So happy to see y'all. getting ready to get started. Yes, we're getting ready to get started. Mike Howard, Francina, Craig Stoops, what's going on, man? Got to find the live here. Here we go. Who we got here? All right, we about to get started. Let me go ahead and bring this down here. That's Sean Brown and the boys right there, guys. Let's go ahead and get started. Can everybody hear me? First of all, Craig, let me know. Craig and Francina, let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. What's going on? Look like I got to make some adjustments here. I don't know if my lighting is off or what, but let's see if I can do some quick adjustments right quick, guys. Just some quick adjustments and see if I can get a better pit. Maybe that might be a little bit better. How about that right there? No. I had this thing set up so very nicely last night, and it seemed like once you get things just change. But we're not gonna worry about it. We're gonna keep on pushing. We're gonna go forward with the program. I am so happy and excited to have y'all with me this morning. Craig said all is good. That's good. That's good. Francina said all is good. Timothy Wesley said all is good. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. First of all, it's just a great day to be alive. Welcome here to the Todd Mickens Let's Talk About It podcast, so we can come in and talk about any old good old thing. And of course, we are here. Here at the St. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Acts, Romans 10 and 9, Apostolic, International, Multicultural, Multi-Denominational, Cultural Assembly, Church of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Right? And where I am, your podcast, Pastor Todd Mickens, here to have a good time with you guys this morning. I'm just excited. I mean, I'm just, being on this side of the dirt is always a good day. Being on this side of the dirt is always a good day. So again, guys, I thank y'all for being here. We got a few topics that we can tackle on this morning. I sent my wife a text earlier in the week about a topic that I wanted to kind of touch bases on. But I don't know, because I said, well, this might be a little edgy, right? Because I don't want to offend anybody. But I think it's something that we need to talk about, right? And it's kind of like a couple things tied in together. We want to talk about women, single mothers, women who raise children. It's ironic that in my matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can tag her, because in our on my mama's side of the family, the Boltons, I'm starting to have personal interviews with each one of the family members just to express their life journey, what they got going on, their accomplishments, their failures, their businesses, whatever. And I wanted to, her topic, I asked what the topic was, and she wanted to talk about single parenting. So it kind of ironic that I text my wife. I don't know. I don't know if my wife is in here right now, but I think I text her Thursday or either Friday and just ask her what does she think about the topic. So it's ironic that we are here with this topic. Y'all can't see this, which is the good thing. Let me find this right here, and I'm gonna get ready to pull this up. Yeah. So that's one of the topics. Another topic, brother Timothy Wesley hit me up early in the week. I guess there's a lot of this. There's a lot of these prank calls that's going on lately, and it's causing havoc. These prank calls are causing havoc in our schools, and I can't use that. I get a copyright thing, but she'll probably hit me for copyright, so I can't use that. Talking about all these prank phone calls about school shootings and all this. That's another topic we're going to discuss. So maybe Tim can come on a little bit later. I'm going to try to get him on because I know he has to prepare himself for services and whatnot. But let's get into it. Let me kind of maybe I can find that. Yeah, I can find it from the premise of where I was coming from. Let me go back and find the topic where I was coming from. See if I can find it, and then we'll probably share that and listen to it. Yeah, here we go, right here. Now I don't know if I can.
Please do not address me as a strong, independent Black woman. It's not a compliment. I never hear a man that is raising children alone say,
"Uh-oh, let me." Boop. Sorry about that, guys. We'll. Well, here we go. I'm gonna just go off the top. This, single parenting, and I hear this a lot. And ladies, I don't know who all's on here. I can't really see nobody. There's not too many people. I can't see as far as I see Mike Howell, Francis B. Wade, Craig Stoops look like the only ones right now that I can see in the chat. Okay. So now maybe let me go check over to the other page, and maybe they're over there, but they are not right here. I may have, because I see more viewers, but I don't see. Yeah, y'all work with me, please. I'm sorry. Yeah, so we good either way. So we always hear, and Tim, I've been knowing Tim for a while. Tim, mother, good morning, Cheryl. Cheryl as well can maybe help chime in on this conversation, but we're talking about single mothers. And what I text to my wife early in the week is from the premise of there was a conversation, a young lady was saying that, when women raise children or men by themselves, and like I said, women, I'm not knocking off on anybody. I don't want nobody to say he don't know what he's talking about, because I know there are a lot of single women, and there are strong, powerful single women. But the premise of the conversation was that when women raise kids by themselves, the woman wants to take on the role as the mom and the dad, when there is no way possible that you can be a father too. Now, I know somebody's going to be, well, my mama did what my daddy couldn't do. All right. And like I said, guys, I don't want y'all to take this the wrong way. All right. But it is It's a disservice to even say that, right? Because on the flip side of it, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong. But when a man is left or has to raise children due to whatever custody battles, agreement, deaths of his wife, you never hear men say, I have to be the father and the mother. The man can only be what the man is, and that is the father. So the women hold strong. Deacon Stooks, I need your help in here, Doc. I need your help. Women hold strong on, and I've heard it say, well, my mama had to be the mama and the daddy. And I think that's a misstatement. What the mama did was the best that she could as a mother. A mother being strong and hard on her kids does not give her a fatherly image. I can guarantee you, single mothers have raised great children, and their children did not see their mother as a father. They saw their mother as a mother who was strong and and like I said, I told my wife, this is a touchy subject. I don't want to, but the mothers or the parents or the kin folks connected to it, because it's always your daddy wasn't there for you, your mama had to be it. And I've heard uncles, grandfathers tell their nephews that, well, your daddy wasn't no way, boom, boom. Your mama, she was the mother was a strong woman who did what she had to do, just as well as when, and you know what, there are plenty of single fathers out there. And you never hear the fathers, well, I had to be the mother too. Right? Cheryl says, Cheryl, okay, and I didn't want to say, but Cheryl is open about her life, and I appreciate that. Cheryl said, I raised my boys alone. However, I couldn't teach my boys how to be a man. I can only teach them respect. I may have to be a provider. However, I can be the man. With that being said, some of my roles was, I guess, of a man's responsibility. Well, Cheryl, I see that's where this gets choppy at. Now, I don't know if there was a miss spelling in here, but we said I raised my boys alone, right? I couldn't teach my boys how to be a man. I can only teach them. Oh, okay, there we go. Got it. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, so like I said, I may have to be revived. However, I can't be the man. But some of her roles of responsibility was of the man. And the thing is, I want everybody to understand, and thanks, Cheryl, for that. The role and responsibility was simply as a parent. If the husband or father was in the relationship, whatever you did, you would have still had, and this is for all, you would have still had to be a parent. A parent who pushed discipline, a parent who pushed respect. And I can tell you, listen, Sonny, I always say, right, Sonny, when Cheryl, I didn't see Cheryl get, matter of fact, all three of her kids, when she get them a look, they don't hesitate. Yeah. Never seen them be disrespectful or none of that. I like what Cheryl said, I can't be the man. And Cheryl, and again, this is no knock to females who have had to raise kids on it for whatever reason. But I ain't even gonna say as a people, but we have to stop allowing these phrases, I had to be The mom, no, you had to be the mother that you are, that took on double responsibilities because the father, um, because of relationship wise, whatever happened, he was not in the home, may not have been as active, but you were a parent, you were a mother, you were not a dual citizen. You wasn't two people, you wasn't two genders. Anything that takes on the role of two heads is a monster. I ain't gonna get a bunch of likes on this topic here because it's a lot. My mama had to do, my daddy wasn't there, and I can hear it. I understand it. But your mama was a strong mom. When my grandmama raised me, okay. So let me ask you this question here: how about for the ones whose grandmother had to raise their kids? You don't ever hear grandmama saying, I'm a no, you don't ever hear about say, oh yeah, my grandmama, she's my mom ain't done it. Well, I don't know, maybe, but she is still understood, especially when you may love her and say she took on the responsibilities as a mother, but she's still your grandmother who did a due diligence, a great job of raising you, your brothers and sisters. She let me back up. Let me back up. Let me back up. Cheryl said, I apologize for the typos, getting ready to head out for the day. Yeah, sure. And you be safe now. And I want to get these in order so I don't get out of order today, because I get out of order a lot and I miss a lot of the context of the comments. Craig said, it is tough growing up without a daddy. My mom did the best she could. Dad and I are good now, but it did teach me one valuable lesson as a father, and that is I may not know the right thing, but I do know the wrong thing, and that is not to be there for. Yeah, right. And see, that's one of the most important things in this statement that you said, Craig, is Dad and I are good now. I'm pretty sure there were some reservations because it's impossible to grow up. Well, no, it's not, because in some communities, that's all they see is single mothers, so they don't really understand two-parent household. But I can only imagine growing up and you see mother and father, or your friends got two parents and you got your own, and I don't know whether the mother told you, your daddy wasn't no good, and or the grandmama tell you, and a lot of this stuff come from outside people, and the people that's not inside the home. Your daddy ain't no good, this and that. But one of the good things that I see is Dad and I are good now. And one thing that he learned from that is he didn't want to be that absent figure in his kid's life. Right? It was tough growing up without a daddy. My mom did the best she could as a woman. She did the best she could as a woman. I need to see if I can find that. What's that lady name? I'm gonna try to find it. And this will give kind of a better premise of where I'm coming from, because I don't want to. And I think I'm gonna what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull it up to the mic. This is not. I'm gonna pull up to the mic. Where we at? We coming. I'm sorry, guys. The real reason why. Nope, that's not it. Here we go. Now, what's her name? Let me get her name right here. April Mason. See if I can find it. Then I'll share it with y'all. I don't think she'll strike me. Okay, and it's a short, so I can't see how to make it bigger though. How can I make this bigger? I hate it when it's like this because I can't see how to make it bigger, guys. I would much rather. Okay, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So we're not gonna do it. But let me get back again to the comments. Um, Cheryl says, and thank you, Craig. And matter of fact, while we're here with Craig, let's go ahead and get this statement here. Our inspiration word from the day from Brother Craig Stoops is 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind, and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide. Whoa, hey, that's big. Yeah. Because he knows what the temptations are, but he always gives you an out. He always gives us and out. And I'm gonna tie this in with fitness. I'm gonna tie this in with fitness because no matter and I was messing with Cheryl last week. Cheryl was talking about going to the fair. I think we had just talked about lifestyle and changing up the habits and getting in a program, whether it's the program E2M or whether it's going to the Madison Fitness Facility, whether it's going to Move Fitness, whether it's going to any type of gym, anything. And she posting that she going to the fair and she ready to eat up everything in there. And I was like, man, Cheryl, what you doing? And she was like, okay. But even in fitness, our choices, there's always a way out. We know the things that listen. When we go to the grocery store, I don't care how expensive or not expensive something is. We don't have to buy the worst food products in the store. We don't have to buy the pig feet or the ham hocks with all the fat. We don't have to buy fatback bacon. Even if you're buying bacon, you can buy lean. There is always a way out to do the right thing, right? Even when you go to a cookout, you can already tell the person ahead of time where you're going, hey, brother or sister, well, I don't really eat such and such. Maybe you make sure you have some chicken in there, and if not, I can bring a salad with me. You going to a party or a function, you can already pre-lay out what you're going to. I believe if we do end up going to the fair, it definitely ain't gonna be the ride no rides and nothing like that. But me and my wife have what our program allows us, which is a cheat day, and we're gonna. And even when we talked about it, I told her, I said, well, maybe we get some fried mushroom. Nah, it's gonna be fried and probably greasy, but it's still mushroom. And even if we was to get whether it's a Polish hot dog or sausage dog or a hog on the log, it's like once a week that we do this, but it's a treat, not a cheat meal, but a treat meal. We're treating ourselves. So we have this way in, have a way out where we don't overindulge in unhealthy food. And I know I've been living like that all my life, and ain't nothing wrong with me. And that's why we were stronger back in the day, because we had to eat this. Yeah. But nowadays children ain't built like that. Huh? Nowadays children ain't built. Craig, thank you for that inspirational word for this morning, man. I really do appreciate it. Cheryl says, still to this day, her kids, y'all see, set it down. Yeah. My wife tried to set me up with this hell hot this morning. I made her set it down. Yeah. Laugh. Go ahead, laugh. Get out of here. I made her set it down so I can grab it in the loop. Yeah, she ain't gonna give me this morning. No, sir. Yeah. But yeah, Cheryl says, still to this day, my children try me 32, 30, and 18. Yeah. But some of the most respectful kids I've known for a long time. And I'm sure only Cheryl and her kids know their story. I'm sure the good the good man that we see, Sonny Brown, I'm pretty sure he had it. I'm pretty sure he had his trials and tribulations. But I can let you know right now, Cheryl don't play. But Cheryl was a strong mother. Yeah. My son's oldest daughter, he had to keep, and he came to me and asked if I could take the baby. She was 2 weeks old. The mother dropped the baby off to him and did not look back. So my husband and I had, and that's understandable. And that happens. And you know what? In those situations, there are times where that is the best thing for the child. Because if a person can give up their child like that, then they're not mentally prepared or stable for it. So it's been, and since I don't want nobody thinking that if you was at a point in life where you was not at the correct space to take care of a child, because you gave up that child to somebody who was in a better state than you, I respect that. Now, that may be a hard pill to swallow. And like I said, I like coming on here talking about things that people like talk about. That may be a hard pill to swallow for the child because they don't understand why mama because especially I can only imagine once a mother gives a child up, because during the pregnancy, I can assume, because I've seen it with my own eyes, especially with my daughter and my wife, there is a connection between the mother, the womb, and the baby. It's something that grew in you. I can only imagine once a mother distances herself or even a man walks out of a child's life, that has to be hard for the child to accept and understand. Yeah. But I applaud you. I applaud you, Francina. I applaud you and your husband for what you did. And I'm pretty sure you are greatly appreciated. I don't know what the situation is as far as whether she ever became back a part of the child's life, but I would pray that there was a peace of mind and understanding from the child. Because in some situations, it's better for them to let the child be with somebody else. Yeah. It's better. Yeah. Moving on. Thank you, Francina. Craig Stuke says he admits what he did was wrong, and I accepted that. Trust me, I wouldn't change a thing because it taught me to always be there for my son and be the best. Yeah, and listen, in everything, in everything, I look for the good out of it. Everything. And I'm pretty sure if he was involved from the get-go, you would have learned to be there because he was there, so you used to. But the lesson was still learned, and it's a blessing that y'all have a relationship now. Some things, and let me say this, guys. Parents who have raised kids alone, let those kids have a relationship with their father or mother who left. Don't you listen, because there's always two sides to the situation. You know, there are situations where mothers and fathers who might have been together in a young age and they collided. Y'all know what I mean, collided. They had relations and had babies, but the relationship didn't work out and they might have separated ways, and the mother or father is still soured mouth because they're not together, so they hold that against the child, or better yet, the parent. Don't let the child be, or either make it hard for the father to see the children, but always telling the children, or your daddy don't want to listen. I'm gonna tell y'all something now. If you have sons or whatever who have kids with their ex or whatever, and they don't get these visitations and stuff, I'm gonna tell. I wish these were the things that I wish I had to know back in the day. Because see, we have been, and see, we are destroyed for our lack of knowledge, ladies and gentlemen. I was always under the assumption that the system was made strictly for the women. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I heard from the old school guys at the job. You know, oh, you go down that child support office, you know, oh no, you ain't got a chance. It's all about the women. They ain't gonna grant you this, they can do this. If I had listen, the system may not be as fair as we want it to be, but guys and parents, listen, tell your children, especially when it comes to all this complicated stuff that you can't see your child or you think the child is in a better situation. Listen, go get legal paperwork done. You can take them to court and get your visitation rights and or custody if you think that they can be with you. Not asking for custody for the child to be petty, but because you understand the situation that they're in, they will be in better care, or you live in a better school system. You have the better home upbringing. You have the better situation. You have more stability in your home. If I had to knew what I knew then, it was almost when my son was 16 or 17. I had a family member who knows went to school for law, and she kind of broke some things but it was almost excuse me, it was at the end of the journey where I wasn't able to he had then became a man at that point, but not that that side of the family was a bad family or they had things going. I just felt that I had the more stable environment. I had, and me being a man, wanted to have my son up under my guidance, because a man can look at a child, especially his son, and be like, well, I got to put some pep in your step. There ain't nothing better for a man to see his son working, to see his son prospering, to see his son doing things. And just because the father and the son or father and daughter may not be in the same household, that doesn't mean that it can't happen. So, but it's something to sit back and be like, that's my boy, right? And not saying that I didn't see that with my son. My son, he means the world to me. He's awesome, right? But during the time of, and that's why, and I'm honest with my son. I told my son about every aspect of the relationship of how he got here, right? And that's a conversation I don't think people like to have. This is the truth that leave out, that most women leave out. Let's just say the individuals leave out. They don't tell how the child got here. I was very truthful with him. But you know what the main thing I said? I can't tell y'all everything I told him, because then some of y'all try to be all in my business. Y'all know what I'm saying? But I told him he was never a mistake, right? The mistake that happened was his mother and I was at an age and at a what's the word I'm looking for? Immature state of mind, where we didn't even think about circumstances or situation. And I said the only mistake was bringing him into the world without being properly prepared as a man. I put responsibility on me, even if she and I wasn't together, as a man, to properly take care and be a in the moment, or in two household parent, because every child deserves that. But you must see, that's why there's so many mistakes made time after time, because we don't tell our children, hey, I was out there and I was wilding. You got to tell your I had one thing on my mind, and that was just Boom, 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 bam. Never thought about consequences and situation. And matter of fact, I can't say that my mother and father never had that conversation, but I don't think it was like an in-depth, like, listen, I'll tell you, listen, this is what you. One day I took my daughter to Shoney's. This when I used to eat that crazy stuff, yeah. And this was our father-daughter time. And I just said, hey, I want to talk to you about something. And I just broke it down. I believe that's why she and I have a unique relationship. This ain't a conversation I want to have with my daughter, but I had it. When I noticed my daughter start filling out like a young lady, I think I asked my wife. I said, "Babe, you talk to her about what?" Because I was straight up with my daughter. I told my daughter this here. I'm tell y'all something. And parents, y'all be crazy if you want to, thinking these children. I told her, I said, listen, I'm not gonna tell you not to like boys. And you shouldn't be, because it's a natural. See, we got to be honest, man. It's a natural thing to like the opposite sex, right? It's a natural thing. I said, I'm not going to tell you not to have a boyfriend. I don't think you should at this particular time. This was back then. I said, but I don't think you fully really understand what a relationship. This was many, many years ago. My daughter's in her junior year of college now. And she was like, okay, daddy. And I told her, I said, but I need you to understand why I'm telling you this. Right? And I know somebody say, man, y'all all over the place today. No. We still in contact. I told her as a man what my mission and what my main goal was as a young man pursuing a young lady. Ladies, you need to have this conversation with your daughters. Men, you need to have this conversation. Men, the man needs to have this conversation with his daughters. The woman needs to have this conversation with her sons. The man needs to listen, women, whether it was you or whether it was your friend or whether it was somebody, that there are women that are out there who really don't care about a man. But it's all, especially when you're young, dumb, and they say listen, a lot of this stuff, when we really didn't know and understand, it was all a game. Now, there was some love involved and there was some real true emotion, but a lot of times females was just hot in the pants. Guys was just hot in the pants. These are the conversations nobody want to have. Nobody want to sit down. Listen, my daughter, Junior, in college, and I still have to, hey, what's going on? My son, he I kind of have more in-depth conversation with him about stuff because he has a son now. And let's just say I don't hold nothing back. I talk that talk. And the women should listen, you should be able to have that. Your child, I know I was that way with my mom. And I think I said last week, I know me and my brothers, we didn't hold too much back from her. She, she might be like, what you say? Like, yeah, but we were still able to go there, have that conversation. I think it's imperative that if you and your child's father or mother is not together, I think it's imperative and very important that you talk to your child and tell them the truth about the whole situation. You ain't got to go in about no faults or whatever, but this is the truth of the matter. A lot of times during the conception or the relationship, there was immaturity on both sides, or maybe on one side. And if the joker was no good and dirty, then he was no good and dirty. But that ain't something you need to be telling your children now. If she was no good and ran out, that ain't nothing you need to be telling your children, because that's still their mother. That's why a lot of boys grow up and they take on the same responsibility of their father that you say was no good. And it's because you instill it in them. Because a lot of people always tell you, you're going to be just like your daddy. Y'all ain't want to talk to me today. That's all right. Yeah. And parents, I know we see our kids that are in relationships, and we see the downfall already. We see the kid. Listen, let's be honest with it. I don't think nobody, parent, was pleased. Now, listen to me carefully. Don't nobody take this the wrong way. There is nobody, parents would rather choose their kid's spouse because it's just simple. Whenever that day comes for my daughter, when a young man steals her heart or wants to be her everlasting whatever, that I ain't care how much they love each other. That ain't gonna be the one. I'm just being that our parents learn to love and appreciate our better half. Because parents always, nobody's good enough for your child. Nobody. I don't care. Listen, I don't think nobody good enough for my son. I don't think nobody good enough for my daughter. But there are people good enough for. I'm not saying that who he's with or who she with ain't good for them. I'm just saying, as a parent, we always just, we have the superficial, already made up fairy tale wedding or situation lifestyle imagine for our kids. Let me get some comments here because I like this here again by Craig. He admits that what he did was wrong, and I accept. Listen, let that conversation be had between the father and listen, mothers and or fathers. Tell the truth. Tell your imperfection in the relationship. Tell it. Especially if they old enough to understand. Tell the truth. You ain't telling so y'all can get back together. You just tell. Listen, I was young. I wasn't even in it for the relationship. It was just a hot moment. I was emotional. I was getting my Jones off, and we didn't do the proper thing to protect ourselves. We ended up with we tried working it out, but as a couple, we didn't get along, and it was just best that we separated. Or hey, he or she just wasn't doing right, and I did what I thought was better for you as a child, better for me and you together. We did this, but don't go. He ain't no good. He dirt dog, double. No. Cheryl talking about this fair food. The fair food is my once a year birthday. Yeah, matter of fact, you just recently celebrated birthday. Like I said, me and my wife, I think if we do go, it's gonna be our cheat or treat meal. We're gonna go and because I don't even, I got to get better by being out. I don't like, because man, so much stuff happening, man. Just people crazy, man. Yeah. This is Dwayne. What's going up, neighbor? How you doing, man? How you doing? See there, my fried mushroom corn dog. Sure, listen. Go ahead and get your treat meal. All right. Yeah. Dwayne says, man, you silly. Hey, man, hey, bro, hey, I'll take that as a compliment. Yeah, man. Jabari Wade says, good morning. Just getting on. We as a community and the culture can assist the raising of young minds when all men step up and become examples to young men. Even with their father present, many times young men listen when it's more than just their father teaching them. To hear another man's confirm what your father has already taught is needed. Sometimes they just need to hear it from someone else within. Yeah, because a lot of times there were things that my daddy said, or or let's just put it like, there were things that parents tell you, and as a child, you just, man, you ain't want to hear it. But when you hear the same conversation outside the house or from another adult or either person of wisdom, appreciate that, Jabari, man. That's dead on point. Dead on point. Francis said, no, my granddaughter is doing, she is 30 years old, and I have 2 beautiful great-grand boys. Yeah, great. Awesome. 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 That is awesome. Awesome. I want to make sure I get the comments. My truth, I raised my 3 daughters with my wife, and they are not my blood. But in God did I raise them as my own, as well as my 8 grandchildren and our 2 great-grandchildren. We didn't have to do anything. God took care of the entire situations of the lives and ours. Now our children understand, as well as our grands, now what it takes to truly be a family, truly to be family love and family oriented in faith and through faith in Jesus Christ. And let me tell you something. I'm glad he said it right there, because no matter how good you do, no matter how well you raise your children, your kids still may go outside of what you want done and outside of the morals and principles that you taught them. And you know what? I say this all the time. I think the world would be a better place if our kids knew from us that we messed up too. Appreciate that, Dwayne. Our kids will understand. I'm seeing a Facebook. Who's this Facebook user here? That's in the let me see if I can find it on here. It says Facebook user. Let me see. Wait a minute. Facebook user Dwayne said, my truth I raised, and then the Facebook user. This looks like James. Good morning, James. Yeah, Facebook user who's saying this right here. I don't see your name. They need to be told and hear from you. So when someone else tries to tell it, yeah. Tell your truth. Tell your children, because when they find out later on, yeah, listen. I remember one time my mom always knocked me in my head, though. I was doing bad at school, and I said something, and I think I was about to stay back, about to be held back in one of them grades in high school. And she was digging. Oh, you look at you, I like this, something. and I was like, now I was wrong. Don't get me wrong. But I'm using this as an example. I was like, she's like, yeah, look at you, about to stay back. You know, you gonna be. And I said, well, I was surprised she ain't shot me. I said, well, you stay back, boy. Boy, I thought nobody knew about it. Boy, listen, I'm glad my dad went home. He probably would have killed me. But I wasn't saying it out of like a disrespectful thing. I was just saying, like, hey, you know, I messed up, and you know, you dogging me about I'm getting ready to stay back, but you must have forgot. You stayed back. Man, my mama like to bust me in my head, boy. Yeah. Yeah. The truth, man. Jabari said, and people may not understand this next comment, but it can't just be religious church culture raising young men and women like a religious cult. A traditional church brain doesn't think kingdom-minded. A kingdom thinking is essential to navigating through life. When a young man is thrown to the world, it's a culture. Jabari, bro, I'm gonna tell you what. It's a real world out there, Doc. You right. You can't listen. Church, God is a part of the life. church is a part of the life, but it's not the only. Everybody knew these type of girls in school. They used to wear the little thing on top of their head. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They used to wear that little white thing on top of their head and wear the dresses all the time. Them parents thought they would. We used to say all the time, "Oh boy, them them girls couldn't go to the dances. They couldn't go to the football game. They couldn't do nothing. But when they did all the sneaking around. And then for some of the ones who was so sheltered and was just church, when they did finally get off from amongst the parent and were able to go to listen, when your child leaves high school and they go out to the college or the military and they ain't experienced nothing, you talk about a culture shock. I had a pretty good even lifestyle. Church, I did football, sports, and all that stuff. Sang, did all the church, did football, listen, karate. And even then, when I later on in life, when I went into the military, I saw some, great God. You talk about, listen, imagine, I'm telling you this, and it was almost like a culture shock for me, but I was able to handle it because I experienced other things outside the church mentality or the church upbringing. Imagine what the ones that all you do is listen. Even Jesus didn't do church all the time. Jesus had a job. I ain't gonna get in there. Friends, what's going on? What's going on? How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Reverend ABC now it's gaming on both sides. James and Kelly Williams, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. Francina says, you telling the truth. Thank you, Francina. Yeah. Thank you, Francina. Dwayne said, trying to be holier than thou in a conversation with our children will cause us to miss what we need to convey in wisdom to our children. Bro, Dwayne, I'm going to tell you something, Doc. That's why matter of fact, people don't agree with my style or technique, but that's why God makes each one of us different. I don't know how many people come up to me all the time and say, bro, why you didn't tell me you was a preacher? I tell them, I didn't know I had to tell you I was a preacher. Well, bro, man, I wouldn't have said, I wouldn't have had this conversation. I said, well, if you wouldn't have had a conversation with me, then I couldn't be able to give you the advice, or we wouldn't have had that open dialogue. And you wouldn't have learned nothing from me, and I wouldn't have learned nothing from you. That's why even on here, and I tell you all the time, even when I throw out scriptures and stuff, I don't even care if it ain't 100% right. I try to speak in layman's terms. I try to speak on a level where anybody can hear and understand. I can't come on here. Listen, everybody that tune in to this podcast ain't in the church. Some of the ones that's in the church ain't even in the church, if you know what I mean. Let me take a sip of coffee on that one. Hell Hot Coffee. Buy your Hell Hot Coffee from my wife, Trevicia BB Mickens. If you want hot coffee, she'll burn the hell out of your lips. Yeah. What number good stuff come out your lips when she get the Hell Hot Coffee on them lips and burn all that hell. Yeah. Dwayne, I like this. Trying to be holier than thou in the conversation with our children will cause us to miss what needs to be conveyed in wisdom to our children. If we are going to talk the truth, then we need to speak the truth for true understanding. Listen. Yeah, definitely. You're so right, brother. So right. Deacon Craig Stoops, man. Hey, tell everybody I miss them out there, man. I love them. I miss them. Matter of fact, tell Jamal I need him on the podcast. Tell him to inbox me. I need him on the podcast so I can bring him on. I want him to have a fitness discussion with me. All right. Appreciate that, brother. See you next time. Man, you need to quit with Yeah. Tim sound ready when you are. Okay, I know what Tim talking about. All right, Tim, let me get you some more of these comments. Jabari hit it on the head. Yeah, Jabari did. Jabari hit it dead on the head. Let me go back to it. Yeah. Religious church culture, raising young men and women like a religious culture. A traditional church brain doesn't think kingdom minded, and kingdom thinking is essential to navigating through life. When a young man is thrown to the world, it's a culture shock. Yeah. Now, and listen, and I don't want nobody to think that what they need, but what a child needs is a balance of life. Because I'm definitely not saying no church or whatever. No, you need it, but they need to know more than just the church. Helen, good morning, Helen. How you doing? Cheryl says, "What white things on the head, Pastor? What?" And we got some in the storage. You know what I'm talking about, Cheryl? That little cloth, huh? That little cloth. You know. Yeah. That little cloth. Some of y'all got one of them cloths. Yeah. Y'all know. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Hey, Tim, we might have to come back on this conversation, man, because I think we're gonna go far to the left if we step outside of what we're talking about now. Maybe we'll come back later on tonight and talk about the prank phone calls and everything. But I want to stay within the in the context of what we're talking about. But y'all act like I'm lying. Because I was confused as a young lad about the women with the thing on their head, the cloth in church, especially in the holiness churches. I see the thing on their head, and they were so holy out down and dressed all the way down. Listen, you couldn't even see their shoes, but them jokers had the most children. Them folks had about 35 children. I'm talking about babies out the. I'm like, man, if they and all of them wasn't mad either, huh? Y'all, listen, ain't nobody in here gonna tell me they ain't had that thought about them women with them cloths on their head and covering. Because if you covering up, you ain't mad. You covering up, you speaking in tongues, you hobble, lobble, lobble, shopping, gobbling, and shouting all over the place and singing, staying in church from 7 p.m. to 10:30 p.m., staying in church on Sunday from 11 to 3:30. Got 8 or 9 children behind, all of them yours. But when I try to talk to you, your daughter, I'm just being honest, y'all. We used to try to talk to the daughters and stuff. They, no, God. I was like, wait a minute, woman, you got all these 30 children? Huh? Cheryl, come on, Cheryl. Dwayne. Ain't nobody want to be truthful about that thing now. I used to think about that. Hey, Tim, appreciate you understanding, man. I think it'd be best if we just hold a whole conversation about that. Yeah. I hope some of y'all might be, and it's okay if you was that. I came from a family like TM. Trying to figure out exactly yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying. Mike Seattle said those were the girls. I'm saying it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Just like Jabari was saying, listen, when those girls and guys finally get to go on a school trip or go on whatever or get away from it. Listen, I remember seeing the girls, they hadn't got to the point where they started changing clothes at school. get off the bus and get out that car with that skirt on or that dress, go in that bathroom and change up the game. Now you holding them in Bible study and I remember one time if my mom was on here, she laughed. I remember one time when I was a youth pastor out at Unity Missionary Baptist Church. And there was a lady, she was like that. She was hard praying. So I was in my office, I was on my computer going over some stuff. And boy, you know, these are the ones that always had they cheering with them and laying hands on them in public and hopping and man, they was in there praying and boy, my mama went there that day, but they about to tear up the church. They was in there stomping it. I was like, walk out of there. They had some of the baddest cheering. The husband, he ended, but Lord have mercy, I don't know. Let me stop. No, I'm gonna say the husband ended up drugged out. The kids was bad. Listen, y'all can be all this holy out. Listen, matter of fact, today at I'll be speaking at New Light Beulah Baptist Church today. And even a part of my sermon, I'm talking about it. Don't matter how much you pray, how many scriptures you know, life gonna deal you a deck of cards that you just got. Listen, you still gonna have some trouble in life, huh? Matter of fact, let me read this right quick, and y'all will understand where I'm coming from with this, because I want to read it exactly how T.I. is, right? Yeah. Having you cheering up in church, man. Hold up, man. Let me. Matter of fact, I'm about to get off here in a little while too. Listen. No. I ain't gonna do it. Y'all just got listen. Tune in or either come to church. How about that right there? Yeah. Be fruitful and I remember, listen, going down to the church in Sumter, right? We fellowship with them long time. I used to go down to the church in Sumter. I always saw a bunch of women and a bunch of babies. They ain't barely seen no men up in there. And I was like, man, these women, I'm talking about can sing up and shout up something. Man, these women up in there and all these, where these babies coming from? Lord, let me stop. Amen. Good bless Sunday morning. You tell the truth always. Yeah, got to shame the devil, Ron. Got to shame him. It's gonna be the truth that's gonna change our generation. Because what happened is, or the younger generation, kids are growing up and finding out mom and daddy wasn't all what they say they were. And I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. Some of y'all ain't gonna like this, but there's an old joke. I'm gonna just say this. There's an old saying, a joke that's out there. Said only your grandmama. Oh man. Only your grandmama know who your real dad is. Yeah. You got kids that's growing up finding out years and years later who their real parents are. Y'all better tighten up the rope, man. Yeah. Don't act like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I got you, Douglas. Yeah. I mean, Dwayne, he said he grew up in a family like that. Supposedly sanctified, parents, children got covered. Yeah, undercover. Yeah. And see, that's the thing. Listen, ain't none of us know more than the other person. We all, listen, we are troubled on every side. Huh? But not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Oh, man, I ain't going to do it. I am not going to talk about them Jehovah. Mike, you already doing it, Doc. You already doing it. Them Joes got a lot of children. And then had a nerd, they'll be at your door with all them children. I don't want to know, ma'am, where you get all these children from? You talking about witnessing for Jehovah. Where they daddy at? You here with 6 children. Helen, good morning. Y'all, I got to get off here. We're going to go to 8:30, then we're going to get up. Don't get upset with the messenger. It's the truth. Yeah. I believe in hitting the things dead on, straightforward. Yeah. Ron said you have some people this morning just be, yeah. It's not a popular topic. Listen, this is the Let's Talk About It podcast, but we can come and talk about anything. Yeah, I got you, Dwayne. Yeah. Don't do it, Todd. God got to release that where it need to be released. Yeah, listen. Yeah. You're right. Well, you know what? Again, this is going back to my number one. This was the beginning of the topic. Women who have had to raise these kids by themselves. You are not a man. You didn't do the job of a man. You did the job of a parent. You did the job of a mother who raised. Listen, when the men do it, you don't hear the men saying, and I'm not taking up for us, but men don't go around, yeah, I was the daddy and the mama. No. If you had to raise your child single in a single parent home, you did the job as a single parent. I don't care how hard you was, females. I don't care how you had to stand over your boys and threaten them with their life. You ain't did nothing a man would. You did what a parent would do. That's what you did. You did what a parent would do. And see, what happened is especially with the girls, the females start thinking, my mama didn't need a man. I don't need a man. I'm going somewhere. Y'all, listen. Yeah. Think about it. My mama was the mama and the daddy. She raised me. She didn't need no man. Now the females automatically get this notion, I don't need a man. Some of y'all might say, well, she don't need a man. Well, that ain't even biblical. If we want to get churchy, Cheryl already said we're supposed to be fruitful and multiply. So, so we're going to multiply, but we don't need the man. Listen, this independent woman stuff is that went far left. The independent woman thing was for when a woman needed to be independent because a situation happened. Now women are raised to be independent. Oh, I know I'm stepping on something today. Women were raised to be, women already look not to need. When the man and the woman, when they leave home, they supposed to leave and cleave. Y'all ain't working with me this morning. Y'all ain't working with me this morning. We so stuck on the independency, women, that you forget about the dependency of a helpmate. We can't get so stuck on independency and forget about the dependency of a helpmate. And you know where you find your dependency? In the same sex. I believe that's why it's a lot of women on women and men on women. I mean, men on men, because you have found your dependency in the same thing, mainly for the women. I believe this is just one concept. And this ain't a conversation about whether a man and a woman should or should not be together, man on man, woman on woman. Listen, I believe everybody knows right from wrong. You make your decision how you make it. That's between you and God. That ain't what I'm talking. What I'm talking about is when we put this premise, I ain't need no man. I did it by myself. What you put in the child, female's life is she don't need a man. So her whole life is only premise on I'm gonna grow up. I may have a relationship and a baby, but once I get the relationship out of the first time we don't agree or something go wrong, I'm gonna do like my mama did. I can do this by myself. I can raise them by myself. I don't need a man. I got my own house. I got my own car. I got my bank account. I don't need a man. You ever notice nowadays women are having less children? That's because they're in less relationship. Most women now want the bag. I want the bag. I'm getting the bag. I'm getting my 35 degrees. I got my car. I'm the bag. Now you to me, I thought most women would like to be married at least by 25 to 30. That's what I thought. Figure. Now you have women that's pressing so much for the bag and for independency. They're in their 30 to 35 years old, and you know what's happening? Now they want children. But listen, now no man don't even want them. You can't give them no children. You can't live with nobody because you didn't live with yourself for so long. When you do try to live together, it's hard because you've been so dependent, or excuse me, independent. You don't understand how to be dependent upon someone else, except when you go to church and you dependent upon the preacher. I done talk in this house. Y'all ain't gonna like me today. Yeah. The only man you dependent on is the preacher. You'll go there, you'll dress up nice for the preacher, you'll amen the preacher, you'll do whatever the preacher, but when it comes to being dependent on a man for a relationship, man, shoot, no. I'm in here. I'm in this house. Y'all ain't got to. That's why I like my podcast. Nobody can't tell me to hush. That's right. I'm going to speak the truth. The truth going to set you free. And it's not a knock on women. It's definitely not a knock on women. I don't want nobody thinking, because there are some situations where the men just ain't no good. Men, listen, men and women just ain't no good. Dirty, dog, dirty, no good, slack. Won't provide, won't do nothing. But just because the one you laid down with, men and women, ain't no good, don't mean every man or woman ain't no good. So now you done damaged the thought process of your children by daily speech. Your daddy wasn't no good. This blah blah blah. I don't need no man. Now what you think your daughter or your son thinking about? I don't need. I got 65, 80,000, $100,000 in the bank. I got my degrees. I got a good job. I got my own house. I got a car. I got this. And this is talking about independent and dependent. I'm an independent this. I don't depend on no man for nothing. Ladies, I don't want y'all to think I'm getting on y'all, but this is geared mainly toward the ladies now. I'm going to get on the men on another segment, but I got to push this. Stop. If you know a family member to do it, you need to listen, stop it. God intended for us to have relationships, not to be alone. He intended for us to be fruitful and multiply, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 12 children. We are here to production, relationship. Just because you and a baby daddy had a bad time, you done cursed the whole human race according to the bad relationship that you had. Now ain't no man no good. Now your daughter don't think no man no good. That's why they don't trust a man. That's why they have more confidence in a female. And fathers, I ain't gonna let these, because maybe that's why we losing so many women to women or these same-sex marriages, because they don't feel confidence in the man no more. Their confidence is in another or the same-sex relationship. Huh? Well, you know, like I say, y'all. This is no such thing as a crazy question when it comes to talking to our children, learn it from home than in the streets. Absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all, I'm gonna get these last comments and I'm gonna get out of here. Mike, being an independent woman increases mental. Listen, I think people misunderstand. You need to be able to take care of yourself and be independent, meaning you don't have to depend on nobody for your survival. But even us men, listen, I'm gonna tell you, I need my wife to survive in this life journey. And I will hope that she needs me to survive in this life journey. Listen, we need the opposite person to survive. Even Jesus said, when I go, I'm going to send you a what? Somebody type it in and say what he was going to send you. Dwayne Douglas, type it in what Jesus said he was going to send you. Huh? You need comfort. Jesus ain't left us down here to be independent. Cuz say the African American culture is teaching that, yes, we ain't meant to be independent. Man need a woman and a woman need a man. That's what God intended, and it shall not change. Too many women are listening to hurt women who suffer from many things with their man, so they insert the statement, I don't, boom. Bishop, appreciate that. I'm going to tell y'all, listen, these churches would be a whole lot more stronger if we spoke this truth. We need family structure back in the church. What did God send us? Jesus said, I'm going away, but I'm going to do, man, somebody better type it in. How much am I lagging my ladies? Run with the man instead of a run. It's all right, Cedric. I hear you now. Huh? Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Yeah. Men appreciate our women instead of dictating them. Yeah. Cedric, you think you slick. You trying to play both sides of the fence. Now I see. Cedric said, I'm going to say something nice. Huh? Boom! There you go, Bishop, a comforter. He sent a comforter. Even in our spiritual journey, he sent us a comforter. What makes you think, man or woman, you don't need somebody? You need to be so independent where you don't need nothing. And you wonder why listen, maybe this is why your children don't communicate with you, even in the household with a two-parent household, is because they ain't nothing worse than an independent a man or woman in a two-parent household. You got the proper structure in the household, man or woman, but you still show independency in the home. Y'all, I got to go. I'm sorry. Bro, when I was out, there lots of women made themselves too convenient, and most men take advantage of that. Yeah, they did. And you know what? I'm going to say this vice versa too. Listen, it's more prevalent for us to say that men take advantage of women, but women take advantage of men too. Yeah. But listen, y'all, I got to go. I'm sorry. I got to get out of here. I got to go. I got to go clear my. Listen, today, like I said, today down in New Light Beulah Baptist Church, 1330 Congaree Road. I'll be bringing a word this morning, and I don't say that for you to come see. I don't say that for you to I say that for your prayers. Pray for me that I will bring a word that will be delivered to the people that they may see and hear and receive the word of God. And the word that's being preached is also to myself as well. Right? Appreciate that, Bishop. Bishop said, awesome. Yeah, man. And Bishop, we got to get you on, man. We got to get you on. We got to get you on. I want you to come on and just talk. Yeah. Matter of fact, no, because that could be a whole nother conversation. I was about to say give you a topic to talk about, but no, I'm gonna hold off. Because I know a bunch of comments gonna come up, and I'm gonna be on here till 9 o'clock, and I need to get off a little bit early because I got to go prepare myself for the word. Going to have a good time at New Light Beulah Baptist Church. Listen, I can't wait. I can't wait to get to church this morning. I'm gonna tell y'all. I woke up early this morning, looking at my hymn book this morning, man. Yeah, looking at it. I'm telling you, man. I'm a young man, but I looked at that hymn book and I was studying some hymns and some songs, man. My soul was happy this morning. I normally get up. I think I got up about an hour before time I normally do, and I woke up with a hymn in my head. So glory be to God, man. Yeah. Thank you there, Michelle. Thank you. Dwayne says, stand on his word, for he shall have you to speak the truth of the word. Yeah, appreciate it. And listen, guys, I thank y'all for being so patient. Thank y'all for being a part of the program. And remember, these comments and topics was not intended to hurt anybody's feelings. This is open discussion. Listen, if somebody had to come on here and disagree with everything I said, I would have just, be like, hey, because remember, on this podcast, we can agree to disagree. We can not like what the other person said, but once we get off this broadcast, we still family and friends. We still love each other. I'm going to keep on loving y'all. Ain't nothing you can do about it. But listen, I got to go. I hope that's the last comment. Don't nobody else comment, please. No more comments, because I want everybody to comment to be posted. No more comments, please, please, please. I'll make sure I didn't miss anybody. No more comment. I love y'all. I will see y'all next week, possibly tonight, where we will get with Brother Timothy Wesley, and we're going to bring up the topic of why all of these prank calls going on about these shootings, okay? Why all these prank calls going on about these shootings. But God, it's your boy, it's your man, Todd Mickens, telling you that I love you. Ain't nothing that you can do about it, and I'll be out of here in 30 seconds. Hope to see y'all next time.